And now.
Okay.
Welcome to the Holistic Kid Show. My name is Zane.
My name's Imad. And my name is Kasim.
We're the Holistic Kids here to educate us kids from the inside out.
Fall and winter here. I love this weather.
What does the season remind you of, besides my birthday?
Lights, snow, presents, for some candy. Lots and lots of sugar. Candy, pies, dessert, and runny noses and sickness, right? I'm seeing more kids in my class, more kids out of my class because they're sick.
Yes, with fall and winter come the holidays and viruses. Viruses like the common cold, flu, and now RSV and COVID, also referred to as the triple threat, are getting some kids sick.
Isn't that every year?
Yes, but this year, on top of flu and COVID, we're hearing more about RSV.
What's that? Should we be worried?
Well, if we listen to the news, yes. But today we're so honored to have an expert with us. Today we're gonna see. Today we're gonna see if we should actually really be scared and what we should do about it. We have been waiting to talk to her for so long because my mom can't stop talking about her.
Oh, are we talking about Dr. Song?
Yup.
Yes, my mom really can't stop talking about all the amazing work she is doing. So glad she is finally here to join us.
Dr. Elisa Song, MD, is a holistic pediatrician trained at Stanford, pediatric functional medicine expert, and mama. In her integrative pediatric practice, whole family wellness, she's helped thousands of kids get to the root causes of their health concerns and help their parents understand how to keep their children thrive, body, mind, and spirit, by integrating conventional pediatrics with functional medicine, homeopathy, acupuncture, herbal medicine, and essential oils. Dr. Song has taught around the world on integrative pediatrics topics for multiple podcasts and summits. Dr. Song created Healthy Kids, Happy Kids as an online holistic pediatric resource to help practitioners and parents bridge the gap between conventional and integrative pediatrics with an evidence-based pediatrician-backed approach.
Dr. Song, we know you are so busy, so we are so incredibly honored for you to join us today.
Dr. Song, you are a traditionally trained kids doctor. How and why did you become more holistic? We would love to hear your story.
So first of all, I want to tell you guys, I am so honored to be here with you. I just so amazed at all the incredible work that you're doing. On top of that, you're all brand new big brothers, right? And you're helping your mom and, really teaching all of your younger brothers below you, right, how to be healthy and happy. So you guys should be so proud of yourselves. I love it. And, as far as the journey that I took to become a holistic pediatrician, it's interesting because a lot of people come to holistic medicine because maybe they had a problem themselves or a family member had a health problem that regular conventional medicine couldn't help. Now, I'm very fortunate, knock on wood, that was not the case. I just was really interested in food and lifestyle and diet and, how to live a really healthy, holistic life from the beginning. So this has always been my passion. It's always been something that I knew when I went into medicine. I only want to work with kids, right? Because kids are the best, right?
Yeah,
They are the best. And then I knew when I learned about pediatrics, I only wanted to do integrative pediatrics. So combining, right, the best of Well, we learn in medical school and pediatric residency with all the other things that really help keep us happy and healthy.
What is a virus?
So a virus is a microscopic organism, right? A microscopic particle that can make us feel sick. And right now, there are many, many circulating viruses, which we see every winter. Now, the pandemic with COVID has been very unusual, right? Because for the past 2 years, 2.5 years, a lot of kids and grown-ups were very sheltered. Do you guys remember when school went into lockdown?
Yeah, and then we
Yeah,
had
right?
yeah.
And you had to stay at home and you did remote learning, and some schools went back sooner than others. But for that first year and a half, most kids were at home a lot more of the time and weren't around their friends that much and weren't around a lot of other family members. They weren't traveling a lot. So we didn't have a lot of the same exposures to these germs, these viruses that come around usually every fall, winter. And that first year of the pandemic and even last year in the pandemic, the winter, we hardly saw any flu, right? And so this year, though, what's happened, right? You guys are in school now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that awesome, right? You guys are back in school. You guys get to hang out with your friends and your teachers, and a lot of people are their life has really opened up, right? You're traveling on planes more. You're having, outings with your friends more, and going out to dinner more. And so with that, we get exposed to a lot more germs, a lot more of these viruses that are in the air and that we can breathe in or touch surfaces and touch our face and get infected by them. And right now, this winter, it feels especially hard because our immune systems have kind of gotten out of practice being exposed to common colds. Even RSV that comes around every year, it's hitting these young kids really a lot harder because they haven't had that practice to build up a stronger and stronger and stronger immune system every winter. Right. So, these viruses that are called the triple threat, it's right now a very unique time because they're all combining at a time where our immune systems have lost practice. And so we want to look at this as an opportunity to not be so afraid of the viruses. Do what you guys are doing, teach everyone how to build up your immune system so that when you get sick, we can get over it faster and then really build back those immune muscles.
What types of viruses are there? Or are there only the triple threats?
So that's a great question, right? Because right now, parents are focused on the triple demic, right? They're focused on COVID, which is the SARS-CoV-2 virus. They're focused on RSV, which is respiratory syncytial virus, and focused on the influenza virus. That's 3, right? There are a lot of other germs going around right now. And I have a lot of patients who they're sick with a fever or runny nose or sore throat, and they test for COVID, negative. They test for flu, negative. They test for RSV, negative. So there's a lot of other stuff going around. So instead of being so worried about any particular viruses, we just want to know, how do we build up our immune strength for everything that's going around?
That's awesome. There are lots of viruses, as you said. Why hadn't we heard about RSV before? Why is it a problem now?
So that's all. These are great questions, boys. The RSV virus, the respiratory syncytial virus, it's been around. As far back as, I don't want to say forever, but I took care of a lot of kids with RSV, even when I was much younger as a medical student and as a pediatric resident. So it's always been around. One of the reasons why we think that RSV is causing so many more problems right now, why a lot more kids seem to be getting sick with it, these young kids. One theory is that these young kids, right? These little babies, toddlers, who really pre-pandemic would have been going to the park. They would have been going to, gymnastics class. And maybe they were in daycare or preschool. They didn't do a lot of that, right? And they were really sheltered. So they didn't get those early exposures to common cold viruses, adenovirus, rhinovirus, some of the common enteroviruses. These are all really common viruses. And so their immune system didn't build up memory of how to fight infections in general. So now they get exposed to RSV and bam, all of a sudden it's like the first time they're seeing any illness, any infection, and they're getting sicker, right? And so, these kids, RSV can be very serious, for some kids. Fortunately, for most kids, they're not getting super sick. It's also, we're not used to being sick right now. And so, when we get sick, it feels awful. But, we want to know, right, how do we, for the kids who are at risk for getting really sick, how do we especially support them?
Mm.
Why are symptoms of these viruses? Actually, why are kids at risk today?
Well, that's part of it, right? Because we've kind of, it's like, do you guys remember learning how to ride a bicycle?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you ride it perfectly right from the beginning?
No.
Right? Maybe you fell a couple of times,
What?
right? Or
What?
you were nervous and you were kind of wobbly, right? Think of your immune system that way. The first time you fight an infection, you're a little wobbly, right? Maybe you get really sick or you kind of fall off your bike a little bit and you need more help. And then every time you pedal that bike and keep on going, you get better and better. You get stronger and stronger, right? So, again, as we get exposed to these very common normal fall winter infections, even though, it's kind of scary for a lot of kids and parents to go through this winter, we have to trust that next winter is going to be much better, right? This is what a lot of parents and kids and teachers, and I remember as a pediatric resident, the first time for kids when they start daycare or school, the first time a teacher has a classroom. When I first started my pediatric residency, oh my gosh, I got so sick, right? Like every month I'm like, I'm getting cold after cold after cold. And then after being a pediatrician, after a few years, I'm like, I'm hardly getting sick, right? Because I had all that immune memory.
Why are symptoms of these viruses? When should kids go to the doctor?
Great questions, because this is something we want all parents to know. And for you guys are older and you could tell your mom and dad, I'm feeling really sick. Maybe this is a time I should go to the doctor, right? So the symptoms of these respiratory viruses, right? Most of the viruses circulating right now are respiratory, meaning that they're in their ear, nose, throat, and their lungs. Okay. And so, they can vary a little bit, but some of the most common symptoms, whether it's COVID or flu or a common cold or RSV, is fevers, congestion or runny nose, little sore throat, maybe a cough. Some kids will get headaches or body aches and be really, really tired. So because all of these symptoms are so similar for each of the different viruses, I can't look at you like if you have a fever and a sore throat and a runny nose, I don't know exactly which virus you have. And usually, for the most part, it doesn't matter that much because we don't have a lot of things we can do in conventional medicine to help, right? Except for maybe if you're the flu, influenza, there might be maybe some medications to consider. But usually I don't really use those. I use more of those natural remedies, right? To help regardless of whatever's going on. Now, when should you see the doctor? So if you have a fever for more than about 3 or 4 days, it could still be a virus, but that's when I like to see kids just to check, listen to their lungs, look in their ears, look in their throats. Another sign that maybe a virus is becoming a little bit more bacterial, right? Maybe needing some antibiotics is if you have a cold, fever, and then you feel better, and then all of a sudden you feel worse. All of a sudden your fever comes back, or all of a sudden your ear starts hurting really a lot more, or all of a sudden your cough gets a lot worse. That could mean, oh, this maybe is turning into a bacterial ear infection or a bacterial pneumonia or bronchitis, which would mean then that antibiotics might help. Because of course we know antibiotics don't do anything for viruses, right? Other times, I think one of the number one things to look for is if you're dehydrated, right? When you're sick, you need to be drinking just like you're doing right now, drinking lots, right? Cheers, right? Lots of water, right? And so if you're dehydrated, if you haven't had any pee in like 6 to 8 hours, then it's time to start trying to drink up. And then if you're really dehydrated, then it's time to maybe go to the doctor, right? Or if you're throwing up so much that you can't hold down any fluids, right? And also if you're just feeling really, really crummy, sometimes that's a sign just to go to the doctor and make sure that there's nothing else, going on that might require some more help.
Okay. So when kids have viruses, they have fevers. Should they be treated with should they treat fevers with medications? Like you said that the one that you should like maybe just do it for like the flu, but what about fevers?
So this is one of my favorite questions, because one thing that a lot of people are afraid of are fevers, right? Even like parents are afraid of fevers, kids can be afraid of fevers, even doctors and nurses can be afraid of fevers. And the first thing that a lot of doctors, nurses, and parents want to do immediately when your kids are a little warm or maybe have a fever is to give them Tylenol or give them Motrin, right? So that you can feel more comfortable, fever goes down, and they can feel like, now my kid doesn't have a fever. They're normal now, right? They're acting normal. So I don't necessarily use medicine to bring down the fever. Okay, the reason is there are some studies that looked at giving Tylenol or Motrin to kids when they have a fever and a viral illness, a virus. And some of the studies showed that it might actually, so it temporarily helps you feel better, but it might keep you sicker for longer and sometimes make you even more contagious. Right? We have a lot of different natural remedies that we can use for fever. I mean, Mom and I, we both use homeopathy, right? So there's some amazing homeopathic medicines depending on how you have a fever, right? We can use belladonna if your fever is really high and you have a red face and you're kind of, really nervous and you're sweating, or even something like gelsemium if you have a fever and you just want to lay on the couch and not move and you're so tired, right? So there's lots of different fever homeopathic medicines. And there's things like lavender essential oil that can help. And have you guys ever had acupuncture yourselves?
No.
I don't think so.
Do you have like
Our older
No,
brother has.
No.
Well, one day you should try it. It's so good for you. Acupuncture, right? What I teach parents how to use acupressure points. And this is something you can do for yourselves. You can help your brothers out when they're sick. You can help Mom out when she's feeling sick, right? Or Dad. And so one point for fever, it's this point right here in between your thumb and your index finger. There's a point right here, okay? This little web space. It's called large intestine 4. And if you hold and you massage, maybe put some lavender essential oil, that can actually help bring the fever down, right? Without having to use medications that artificially bring down the fever. Now, there is a time when we might want to use a medicine, right? Because, I never say never to anything, right? But if you're so miserable and cranky and you can't drink and you can't sleep and you're just ache all over, then sure, you can give a little ibuprofen just to help you feel comfortable. You don't have to bring the temperature down to normal, right? But to get more comfortable, because sleep, right? You guys know the power of sleep. Sleep is
We've talked a lot about it.
Yeah,
uh-huh.
like you gain all your energy when you're sleeping.
And that's one of the we fight a lot of infections in our sleep. So sleep is so important, right? And drinking, right?
Yeah.
So lots of things we can do for fever besides medicines, and then sometimes the medicine is needed.
How can kids improve their immune system?
Oh, so many different ways. And you guys mentioned one thing in the beginning. Who was talking about winter and loving cakes and sugar and all those sweets? So yes, holidays are a time for sweet treats, right? But we just want to remember it's really important to have balance, especially in the winter months. Okay, when all of these respiratory germs, right, the triple threat viruses are going around and all the many other viruses. Because sugar, if we have sugar, it actually makes it maybe twice as hard for our immune system to fight those germs, right? So we have to balance, right? I'm not saying never have a sugary treat, but if you're kind of sniffly and not feeling that good, then you want to avoid the sugar, right? Or if you go to a friend's house and maybe they're sneezing and coughing, and you don't want to get that, whatever they have, then avoid the sugar then, right? And make sure you get in loads and loads and loads of colorful fruits and vegetables because those give our immune system really good antioxidant muscles to help us fight any infections that's trying to get us, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
What kind of colors do you guys like in your vegetables and fruits?
I like green.
Green?
Leafy green vegetables are always incredible.
I like orange vegetables.
Nice.
Yellow and yellow, green, blue.
You
Well,
like
my favorite vegetable is a cucumber, but technically that doesn't really count as a vegetable, but we like to call it a vegetable.
You can, I think, you know what? I think the USDA actually categorizes it as a vegetable, even though you're right, it technically is a fruit, right? Kind of like a tomato. I'm glad you love your colors. That's one of the best ways to support your immune system. And of course, sleep, right? We get enough sleep for ourselves. And, moving your body in a really fun way, getting an amazing exercise.
Sleeping.
Like even just 10 or 20 minutes of moving your body every day helps your immune system get more muscles, right?
Because you're supposed to get 60 minutes of activeness a day.
Yeah, right. And it doesn't have to be 60 minutes all at once, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to ride your bike for a whole hour, but you can ride your bike to school for 10 minutes and then you can, play soccer with your friends for 20 minutes and you can jump on the trampoline for 15, right? It all adds up. We want to keep our bodies moving.
Wow, we talked about how food is good for your immune system. What are best foods for your immune system?
Okay, so we talked about colorful fruits and vegetables, right? Really important. There are certain vitamins and minerals in foods that give our immune system extra power. Okay, so specifically, there are foods that are really, really rich in zinc. Zinc is a mineral that helps us fight infections. One of the most important can be really helpful for colds and flus. And so, one of the main sources of zinc are animal proteins, but you can certainly get zinc from vegetarian sources. And that's going to be in all of our amazing nuts and seeds and legumes, our beans. So getting in pumpkin seeds on your oatmeal, or you can bake some chickpeas and have crispy chickpeas as snacks, right? So that's zinc. And then you mentioned the green leafy vegetables. Well, there are vegetables that are really rich in sulfur that gets our glutathione levels up. Glutathione is our master antioxidant that helps us get better faster from anything that we're exposed to. So those are all the stinky vegetables, right? Like broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and cabbage and kale and bok choy and all those delicious things. Do you guys like those?
Yeah.
So good. So good. What about mushrooms? Mushrooms are also really good for you.
They are good.
They
too,
don't
but
like good. They
like,
don't like mushrooms.
we don't really
I like
love
mushrooms.
mushrooms.
I love mushrooms.
Awesome. Yeah, mushrooms are hard to sell in my house too. It's true. But you know what? You can learn to love them. You just try them over and over again.
Just think that you like them.
You can, yeah, that's right. You can tell your brain, you know what? I'm going to think myself to like them because they're so good for me. And then one day you're going to love them.
Mhm.
Oh, the other vitamin I was going to tell you about that is hard to find in foods that kids love, but is so important for the winter is vitamin D. Okay. A lot of kids have to take extra vitamin D as a supplement. Okay. But you can get vitamin D in mushrooms again, right? You can get vitamin D in eggs. You can get vitamin D from dairy, although when in the wintertime, I cut down on the cow's milk products, right? And a lot of kids and grown-ups are sensitive and it's not very good for them. So so that I wouldn't use that as a major source, which is why a lot of kids and grown-ups will really need a little extra vitamin D when they're in the winter months and when they're sick.
Because like some people are lactose intolerant and some people are just sensitive to it and get eczema from it, like me and
Yeah.
Awesome.
100%.
I
Right.
have one.
This was so amazing, Dr. Song. We now have more hope and less fear.
I am so glad. That is so awesome. That is what I want, right? We have to get through this winter somehow. We're gonna get through it, right? Whether we have fear or we're calm. So we might as well learn to stay calm during it, right?
Yes.
Where can people learn more about you and your work?
So the best place to find me is on my Healthy Kids Happy Kids website. That's healthykidshappykids.com. And I'm also on Instagram as Healthy Kids Happy Kids, and also on Facebook.
That was so empowering. Everyone, make sure to follow Dr. Song on social media. She is such an inspiration.
Thank you so much, Dr. Song. Let's recap Dr. Song's key points. Viruses are all around us all the time, but peak in the fall and winter, and hospitals always get busy this time of the year. But instead of panic, Dr. Song has given us hope because fear and panic really doesn't help anyone. By strengthening our immune system, us kids can be more prepared to handle whatever infections that come our way. Humans encounter bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Whether harmful or not, in our everyday routine, despite being in constant contact with even harmful pathogens, the majority of us are still functioning well, all due to our immune system.
That's right, guys.
Yeah.
And you guys can have amazingly powerful and strong immune systems. You already do. So congratulations, guys. And thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and information and sharing speakers with the world, because really kids need to know this too, right? It's not just about the parents. The kids have to be empowered. So I'm so glad you're doing this work.
Yes. It's amazing. And we are so honored for you to join us today. Your immune system is your hands. Your immune system is constantly making cells in 10 seconds. We are making 1 million new WBC, 20 million new RBCs, and 30 million new platelets from our bone marrow. So depending on your lifestyle, it will be determine what kind of cell will be made and how well it will rejuvenate. The cells, junk food, negativity, chronic stress, lack of sleep, toxins in our environment, our lifestyles are killing us, destroying our immune system and our planet. Remember, fevers are a way for our body to get rid of the bugs. So medication can make you sicker for longer to make you more contagious. Use homeopathy, acupuncture, and even essential oils that can bring the fear down. Ways we can strengthen our immune system are holidays are a time for sweet treats, so it is important to have a balance. Remember, sugar makes it twice as hard for our immune system to fight bugs. By eating the rainbow, as vegetables and fruits have so many colors, each color has a specific nutrients benefit. There are lots of rich source of minerals, vitamins, and help give the nutrients to the immune system. We need like vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D, that a lot of kids need to get more today. Sulfur, glutathione, our master antioxidant. Yeah.
Dr. Song, tell us that mushrooms. Dr. Song told us that mushrooms, green leafy veggies like broccoli sprouts are good for our immune system.
Science. What? Yeah. Make sure to eat lots of diverse foods.
Well,
Yeah.
yep, guys, make sure to eat diverse. Make sure. Remove white flour, sugar, and processed foods.
Yeah, because those are what. Because all of that.
And remember, guys, get your
I
sleep.
was talking. Get your sleep, which energizes you in your sleep.
What was stress? Get out in nature.
Nature was made for us to play in, obviously. Why are you just going? Okay.
These are so much we can do improve
Our
immune system.
Yeah, we need a healthy, strong immune system to get through winter and fall.
Thank you, Dr. Song. This was amazing.
It was amazing.
Amazing! Thank you so much for having me, boys. I've loved being here.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zansari.
And I'm Maud.
And I'm Cassie.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Mom D, and look out for my mom's book, The Holistic Arts, your guide to healing chronic inflammation and disease. The Holistic Arts for kids, parenting healthy brains and bodies in a changing world. And the amazing children's book we wrote together called Adam's Healing Adventure, The Power of Rainbow Foods. So check it out on Amazon. Yay! Amazon. And we are in Adam's Healing Adventure, The Power of And
so check it out on Amazon today.
Amazon today.
This podcast has been sponsored by Wellness. We love wellness products because they contain only safe, natural ingredients that work better than their conventional alternatives.
Go Wellness. Yeah, we have done. Okay. We especially love the kids' toothpaste without any fluoride, filters, or toxic additives. This toothpaste is full of powerhouse ingredients for our growing smiles. Use the link to get 10% off of all orders by using the code Holistic Kids, no spaces, all caps. Exclamation mark. Check it out on the description of this podcast. Kids need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast in iTunes and leave a review so other kids and families can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthier future for all of us and the planet. Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kids Show. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.